Fish says how Biscan? What about Biscan? You know the other day I say we were hating on Biscan. I was hating on Biscan. I was watching some highlights today of the 2005 game. I think against Leverkusen or possibly against Juventus, and he was really good in that. So maybe I need to start respecting Biscan a bit more. Ikram says hi, how are you? Charlotte says howdy. I can't lie, I'm not particularly enthused about this game because the lineup is a bit whack, to put it in nice terms. This 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 is the first game in a while where I've been like, I don't think we're gonna win this, but let's see. Could be wrong. I'm confused as to why Isak isn't starting. Like, how is he ever supposed to develop any rhythm? How is he supposed to integrate with his teammates? How is he supposed to build connections if you start him sporadically? And whenever you start him for 60 minutes, and then you take him off, and then the next game he just doesn't play again. I'm a bit annoyed about that. How you doing, reluctant gamer? Hope you're good. I was gonna say I'm wearing a Newcastle shirt today, but you could probably tell if I hide the logo, maybe it looks like a Newcastle shirt. The league is way too tight from 15th to 3rd in the table. Indeed, it is. Like a single win can elevate you up about 10 positions. A single loss can make you drop down 10 positions. It's why I'm not overly concerned about league positions at the moment, because I think they're giving a false indication of what the reality is. You can say, yeah, we're 3rd, and then you lose a game and you're 12th. So not paying too much attention to it. Yeah, you're aware that's the goalkeeper kit. My attempt to obfuscate the truth has failed. Have you started playing Resident Evil 2 yet? They've kicked off here. How do I set the timer? Give me a sec. There we go. Ian says, I can't understand Jamie Redknapp. Oh, welcome to my world. It must be something in the genes, given who his dad is. Saying Slot deserves respect. Respect doesn't win you games and trophies. Oh my God! And just as we're saying that, Leeds almost scored. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. There's this notion, especially these days, that you can't challenge something that you deem is incorrect, and I just don't think that's the way you progress. The way I think about it is as follows. So I'm not a helicopter pilot, but if I see a helicopter stuck in a tree, I'll say I think he's messed up there. Whereas some people would say, you're not a pilot, you can't. I'm like, I can see the helicopter stuck in the tree. So it's a bit bizarre. I think the problem with ex-pros is they perhaps headed the ball a bit too often in their career, and we're seeing the after effects of that now. Arsenal not going to hang top whole season unless City and others do poor. Yeah. You are correct, and I don't want to say I told everyone so, but do you remember like a month ago when everyone was saying, bro, Arsenal are gonna run away with the league, bro, Arsenal are so amazing, bro, Arsenal have already won it, bro. And I was like, number one, excuse me, and number two, I kept saying the thing whereby there's a long way to go just until Christmas time. And even Christmas time is merely the halfway point. So we can't say Arsenal are going to run away with it, given that they are at top in November. They're going to get injuries. They're going to start playing multiple games. And what I'd be most concerned of above all else with Arsenal is that they don't have a winning manager. They don't have a winning manager. He's a clown. He's an idiot. He is a fool. Now, if Arsenal were to get rid of him, then I'd be worried. But I'm not worried as long as they have Arteta. He will build the lead, but and this is the pattern every single year. As soon as he builds the lead, then he gets more and more cautious, more and more risk averse. And essentially he starts defending more and more and more, and then eventually they squander that lead. It's the same pattern every single year. Like for me, the league at the start of the year was between Liverpool and City. Chelsea with an outside chance. Based on how it's going right now, I'd say most likely City, but not definitely City. Definitely not definitely City. I've played Resident Evil for an hour yesterday. Was great. Nice. Did you pick Leon or did you pick Claire? And have you got to the... Is it a police station or a hospital? It's a police station, isn't it? Have you got to the police station yet? Pixel says, "Hey, handsome. Well, you must be looking at a mirror, if that's what you're saying." But I hope you are good. Hope all is well in New Jersey. I don't know if it's annoying when people say New Jersey. I'm watching this game right now. City beat Sunderland 3-0. Yeah, absolutely demolished them, didn't they? City are going to view the title as their title, which you can say they have logic for calling it that, given how often they've won it recently. So they're going to want it back. So that's kind of why, for me, at the start of the season, they were my favourites. T from the 3 says, "Mange dog. Hashtag had a winning manager. Did they mange dog?" I don't know what you're on about. What's a mange dog? Is it a type of dog? Mags Finley says, "Mags win, Sunderland loss. On the drink." On the drink, Wissa return. Gordon's back. Couldn't be happier. Well, I'm glad things are going well for you. That's good to hear. So City did what we couldn't, basically. So that's probably the lesson we should take from this. Never rely on Liverpool, unless you're expecting disappointment. Yeah, reluctant gamer remembers. I picked Leon. Do you have to complete it with both? Also, who you completed it with? I did it with Leon. From what I remember, if you pick Claire, Liverpool counter-attack opportunity, but they have that clown with the curly hair in the middle of the pitch, who just again fails to release the ball. Like, if you got a counter-attack opportunity, you stupid idiot, kick the ball forward. The thing is with Curtis Jones that irritates me to my core. He will come on as a sub, he'll show a bit of energy, and then the Curtis Jones PR will elevate because he showed a bit of energy and he showed a bit of effort. That PR then results in him getting a start in the next game. And then when he gets a start, this is what he does. And then eventually the PR reverses and everyone says, yes, Curtis Jones is rubbish. And then he goes back on the bench. It's the same. And again, it's the same thing. It's kind of why Arsenal are so predictable. It's the same thing with Curtis Jones. We've seen this story 400 times. I don't need to see it at 401st time. But yeah, I completed it with Leon. I think if you do it with Claire, I think some of the cutscenes are a bit different. But I think the core game is the same. I think it just changes some of the cutscenes, but I'm not 100% sure. Crazy FC guy says, "Yo, 6-7. My cat poop in the shower. My cat poop in the shower." That's interesting information. And I guess if your cat was to poop anywhere, the shower's probably a good place. Not the best place, but better than the carpet, I guess. What's your cat's name? Does your cat have a Norwegian name? But yeah, cats are cool. Jonathan says, "Hi bro, it's me, your dad." I mean, if you were my dad, you would not be calling me bro. But I respect the sentiment. How's things in the world of chess? I hope your chess is going well. Vladimir the cat. That's a good name for a cat, to be fair. I actually like that name. Do you call your cat do you call your cat Vladimir or just Vlad? But Vladimir is a good name for a cat. Vladimir. I like that. It's a historical name and it's a powerful name, I guess. And for some reason it just seems to fit a cat very well. Oh bollocks! Who's at the fucking door, man? I don't have any deliveries today. Oh, got the door. Give me a sec. Oh God, yeah. Yeah, it was the same neighbor that gave me chocolate. They they rang on my door because they thought I had a parcel for them, but I didn't. Vladimir, or I say Mimir. Nice, cool name for a cat. Ian says, one of my cats is called Nico, the other is called Sophia. Nice. I feel like Sophia is the troublemaker and Nico is the one that is behaved pretty well. If I was to guess. Speaking of troublemakers, Ekitike just got punched in the head by the goalkeeper. And now he's on the floor. Yeah, what's up with Isak not starting? How's Isak supposed to build rhythm with the team? How is he supposed to integrate with the team? How is he supposed to work on his positioning? How is he supposed to work on anything? If number one, when he plays for 60 minutes. And then after he's played for 60 minutes, you drop him for the next game. I clearly don't understand that. Alan says what I'm a bit worried about. This will be Leeds' biggest ever win. It wouldn't surprise me with the lineup that he's put out. I mean, at least I guess he's trying to evolve the team. At least he's trying to perhaps build. At least he's trying to build a team around Wirtz now instead of Salah, which I guess is a positive thing because Salah's not going to be around forever. But I just don't understand the chopping and changing of the striker. One game it's Ekitike, the other game it's Isak. Then it's Ekitike, then it's Isak. That bemuses me. Jonathan wants some advice on something. I will try my best. Charlotte says, how will Liverpool manage minutes between Salah, Wirtz, Isak and Ekitike? I mean, I think we're seeing that. And unfortunately, I don't like the implementation of it. Because there's no consistency in the team. Like he'll play two of those one game and then he'll drop them and then play the other two. That to me is concerning, especially because it's December time. I understand the need to do that around August. I understand the need to do that around October. But when you're getting towards December, you still don't have a kind of long-term solution for the forward line. That's worrying. Ian says Nico is a naughty boy and Sophia is the gentle soul. So I got it completely the wrong way around. I got it completely the wrong way around. Yeah, cats are cool. I like cats. I subscribe to a few like cat YouTube channels of people who just have cats. They just do the funniest things. Yeah, almost. Jonathan wants advice. There's someone who keeps texting me. Okay, well firstly, you have to tell me who the someone is. I mean, because Jones hits the bar. I mean, the advice will differ based on this. If the someone is a potential romantic interest, or if the someone is like your teacher. So you'll have to tell me who the someone is. Reluctant Gamer says they should not have gotten Isak if they were going to do this. 100%. It's because to me it says you don't have a plan. If you have Ekitike hits it over. If you try something one game and then you abandon it, and then you try something the next game, then you abandon it. I'd understand if this was, say, a cup game that you didn't have to win, so you can rotate. But why rotate in the Premier League when you are doing terribly and you desperately need a win? I don't understand. Charlotte says, for real. Frat says, hello man, how's it going, Frat? Corner to Liverpool. Jonathan says, someone is a girl who is asking me for something, you know. I mean, I don't know, and I kind of perhaps don't want to know. But what specifically? I mean, what specifically do you need advice on? But I'm regretting that already. But let's see. Frat is from Turkey. Very nice. How is the weather in Turkey at the moment? Hope it's better than what we've got, because it won't stop raining in England. Luke is mad and says, hi. How are you, Luke? Reluctant Gamer says, Isak scored his last game. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it as well. That's what I was thinking earlier when I saw the lineup, but I forgot about it when it started. But yeah, he would have wanted to have continued that form. I just don't understand the incessant chopping and changing of the front line. You've paid £130 million for a striker. And then you play him for 60 minutes and then you don't play him the next game. I don't understand this. Especially because this game is a very important game. It doesn't feel like a game where you can drop Isak. Isak for me is Liverpool's biggest threat. Bigger than Salah probably at this point. Billy says Okafor and Jones shot on target. Put the bet on. Not Ekitike's fault because he deserves game time. It's just a poor way of running a club. It is. I agree with you, and it just shows like a level of uncertainty, and it also shows kind of a lack of planning because like you must have had some sort of plan when you bought Isak. Like number one, to spend a lot of money on Isak is significant. Number two, to potentially, I wouldn't say ruin a relationship with Newcastle, but to worsen a relationship with Newcastle, like you must have really, really wanted that player and really, really had a need for that player and really, really had a reason for that player. But he's just not playing him. And even in the last game, like if you remember, I just kept getting agitated that he plays Isak and then he takes him off after 60. And it's always 60 minutes. It's never like 65. It's never 70, 75. It's always 60 minutes. It just shows like a lack of planning. So I'm beginning to kind of lose faith, to be honest with you. Ian says, when you chop and change every game, it means you're clueless and running out of ideas. I agree. I think it exhibits a level of desperation. Especially because Isak is a player who I think Liverpool will have a great reliance on. So you're going to need to play him so that he can develop chemistry with his teammates, so that he can feel comfortable and so that he can get better integrated. I almost feel like Isak hasn't been given a chance. Like he hasn't been given a run in a team. How much can a player do really if you give him 60 minutes here and then you don't give them the next game? Like I'm sure he'll come on in the second half for 30 minutes, but it just doesn't fill me with confidence. So Bosley free kick goes over. I don't know what they're playing at. But Luke is good, which is good to hear. X is coach a youth team. Jonathan says, shut your B ass up. So can you put it in one sentence? I'm getting a bit lost. So you want advice on coaching a youth team? Fishinsky says hello. Jeffrey says this team is playing a little bit better. They are a little quick in the movement. That's an improvement at the very least from the lethargic mess that we've had to observe recently. The only slight caveat... Oh my God, what's Van Dijk doing? Van Dijk heads it back, but Leeds intercept the header back, but it's sorted. Yeah, I was going to say, the only caveat I would perhaps have is that it's still 20 minutes. So let's see if they can keep it up. But maybe I'm being a bit too negative there. I can't lie. I'm still annoyed about the Isak situation. Like we need him to find form. We need him to hit the heights he has done, but how can he do that if you don't give him a chance? And again, Kerkez is very central. And why is Kerkez running into the middle? Again, at risk of sounding like a broken record, Kerkez's strengths are running up and down the pitch. Kerkez's strengths are putting crosses in from wide. If Kerkez is central, number one, that limits his ability to run up and down the pitch. And number two, he can't put crosses in because he's in the middle. What is this? Honestly, like, what is this? Yeah, I agree with Papyrus. There's a bit more energy, which and I think like Jeffrey was correct. There is a bit more energy for sure, but tactically it still looks disjointed. Fish says, Google that. I mean, I will try. Oh, it's like a Polish song, is it? Is it good? Is it a tune? Is it a tune you would recommend? Fish says, please fish, I need this. My sea is kind of fishless. Well, you've confirmed that you're a fish in the sea. If your sea is fishless, that means the saying, there are plenty more fish in the sea, would have to be incorrect. Do you enjoy the contest so far? Not particularly. James says, hi, hope you're well. I was well this morning until I saw the lineup, and then I started feeling sick. But how are you? Papaya says, we just can't create anything. It's the tendency and it's the desire to always look for the perfect opportunity. Pass it left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Wait for the perfect opportunity. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Wait for the perfect opportunity. Lose the ball. I just want this team to take a bit more risk, because sometimes the perfect opportunity never arrives. And in waiting for the perfect opportunity, the other team, they'll do this crazy thing, right? Now prepare yourself. The other team will do this crazy thing called kicking the ball at the goal. And then the other team scores. Papayas knows what I'm on about. Jonathan says Mo is moaning on the bench. It's good. It's Legio Warsaw Anthem. But I thought they were your local rivals. I thought you didn't like them. Cross, Van Dijk. Ooh, just over. Jonathan says, no, there is a girl who's asking me to coach a youth team. Right, okay. And what are you going to be coaching them in? Is it chess or is it some other sport? I presume it's chess because that's what you play. I mean, if it is chess, I guess my question in football. Okay. I mean, are you getting paid for it? would be a question. And I mean, how long of a commitment are we talking about for coaching? Are we talking like an hour a week, or are we talking an hour a day? You know what I mean? Two days a week. I mean, it depends. It depends what kind of other commitments you have, I guess. Like, are you busy? Can you spare the time? And how long is each coaching session? Is it like an hour? And also, not to be blunt, but like what do you get out of it? Like, do you get paid, or do you get something out of it? Papaya says, why is Gakpo so far? What? You're reading my mind. It irritates me. It irritates me to my core, because if you consider the left hand side, Kerkez's strength is being wide, getting up and down the pitch, using his pace, and then once he gets far up the pitch enough, whip a crossing. That's literally Kerkez's game. So Kerkez is the one that I want out wide. Whereas Gakpo, you'd rather have central, because Gakpo's not a great dribbler, but he's got a powerful shot on him. And he hasn't just got a powerful shot on him, he's very tall as well, which means he can win the ball from crosses into the box. So Gakpo is the one I want more central, and Kerkez is the one I want wide. But unfortunately, I don't make the rules. But based on what I'm seeing, and it's not just this game, every single game, Kerkez is central and Gakpo's wide. To me, that's completely the wrong way around. So yeah, I'm not best pleased about this. Jonathan says their main coach won't be able to come for 2 months. They can't afford one. But okay, so with respect to this coaching job you've been asked to do, are they going to be paying you? And it doesn't necessarily have to be money, but like what do you get out of it? Okay, fair enough. I'm free to be honest, and I can get a chance with that girl. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe yes, but to be fair, maybe you're being taken advantage of. I don't know the entire situation. But you can always say maybe you'll try it for a week, see how it goes. Maybe that's the middle ground, where you say, okay, let me try it for a week, let me see how it goes, let me see how I can fit it alongside the other stuff I have to do, and then that should give you a better idea. I think that's probably the best middle ground. Fish is saying it's day 1997 of not shaving his private hair until Dortmund win 5 games in a row. Next up, Hoffenheim. Well, thank you for number 1, the mental image, and thank you number 2 for the update. I mean, how many games are Dortmund on? Like, Gakpo, he ain't gonna do anything though, is he? Yeah, did fucking nothing. Jesus Christ. He just knew, like, he got into a position, and I was like, he ain't gonna do anything. But yeah, how many games are you on? Papaya says, credit for trying new things, but we saw last 2 games it just doesn't work. Oh, I agree. Like, he needs to try new things, kind of given how frequently he's been losing games, but I'm not sure this is the answer. It's like, if you eat the same thing for dinner every single day, and then you say, you know what, I'm gonna try something new, but the new thing you eat is cardboard, I would say, okay, whilst you are trying something new, eating cardboard just does not seem like the smartest idea. Nayab says Mbappe versus Haaland in World Cup. Indeed. Who are you supporting in the World Cup? Or are you just going to be watching as a neutral? Ian has given a suggestion to to Fish's dilemma. Have you tried waxing? I mean, by the sounds of it, if he's gone close to 2,000 days, that's going to be a whole tub of wax. I mean, it's either going to be a whole tub of wax or you're going to have to charge your trimmer up at least a couple of times to deal with that. That's about 6 years worth. If we say there's 365 days in a year, multiply it by 6, it would be close to 2,000. So yeah, that's about 6 years worth. So yeah, that'd be a lot of wax. I just wonder if there's a more efficient method for Fish's hair growth. Ooh, good defending by Bradley there. Nayab says Portugal only for Ronaldo. Fair enough. Is this World Cup going to be Ronaldo's last international tournament? It better be. Cause how long can he continue to do what he does? I was gonna say how long can he continue to hold his country for ransom, but that's probably too far. Rattata, is that like the Pokemon which evolves into Raticate? See, Jonathan will be impressed that I know that Rattata evolves into Raticate. Rattata was cool because it was a purple Pokemon, but Raticate was like straight up nasty. Got any links? I do not, but I'm sure they exist. Papayas says, what would you say is something that could work with this team? The main thing for me is the Kerkez thing. Keep Kerkez out wide. Kerkez is a serious threat, as we saw in the Premier League last year. But I do not understand the obsession and the borderline fetish when it comes to buying a player and then making him do a different thing than what he was good at last year. It's like you hire a chef and then get him to drive a bus. Like, that's not his skill set. Ian has a feeling we're about to score. I'm typically slightly behind, so this might be this might be a good feeling. I would love that if we scored. That is true. To be fair, Jonathan says Fish has more hair on his thing than you have on your head. Very true. That is very true. Pixel says marching on together. Zaim likes that he dropped McAllister and Kerkez is more attacking against a low block, but sticking with Gakpo makes it stale in attack due to his predictable movement. Yeah. Gakpo, here he is, but nothing's gonna happen. Yeah, you just know with Gakpo, he's gonna go left and then he's gonna cut inside onto the right. It's like Sainsbury's could be on the left and Tesco could be on the right. He'll be walking towards Sainsbury's, but he'll end up in Tesco. That's what happens with Gakpo every single time. Predictable. Defenders know what he's gonna do. At least with Diaz, you didn't know, is he going to go outside? Is he going to stay inside? Is he going to do a bit of wizardry? But me watching as a complete amateur, even I know what Gakpo is going to do. So the professionals on the pitch will know that even better. I mean, is there a world where Gakpo doesn't, where you can play the same formation, but Ekitike plays in Gakpo's position and Isak plays in the middle? Could that work? Jonathan says Rattata is an annoying Pokemon. I step 1 foot in the grass and it comes up. Yeah, so it's one of those early ones, isn't it? And it's such a rubbish Pokemon as well. It just doesn't have like any... It just doesn't have like any good moves. It has bite. It has bite, doesn't it? Bite. But other than that, it's just useless. Fish has a new vid out. Is this your predictions? Nayab, I have to pass the deadline. Portugal versus Argentina. Is their win will face... Are you saying that whoever wins between Portugal and Argentina faces France or England? To be honest with you, I know the draw happened yesterday, but I wasn't paying too much attention to it. It just became like a whole politicized thing with that whole peace prize, and I was like, nah. I will I'll leave it until the summer, because then it will be a nice surprise. Nayab says Portugal have deadline. Portugal versus Argentina. Right, so you're saying if Portugal go through, then they might have to face England or France. I mean, that could be interesting. That's the good thing about... Gakpo's going to cut inside, isn't he? He's going to cut inside. Of course. That's all he ever does. Gakpo, edge of the box. I knew he was going to cut inside. I knew he was going to do that. I don't know why I'm sounding Welsh, because I'm not Welsh. But I'm like, I knew he was going to cut inside. Where did the Welsh come from? You just know that's what he's going to do. God, this is predictable. Imagine a fluid rotating front three averts and Chiesa supporting Ekatike just ahead. That'd be nice. The fluid aspect of it, at the very least, by virtue of being fluid, it is therefore unpredictable. So I like that. It's you don't know who's where, you don't know who's gonna go where, and I think that makes it a lot harder to track runners if you're a defender. So yeah, I'd love something like that. Unfortunately, like, I don't know if Gakpo's got pictures of Slot with hair, but Gakpo ain't getting dropped. And like, Gakpo's fine. Like, I'm trying like not to kind of hate on him too much, because I do think he's fine. Like, he's fine, but he doesn't deserve to be a staple in the team right now. Especially at the expense of Isak. Right, so this is the reason why you wanted advice. So a girl who you think is a 9 out of 10 wants you to do some coaching. And my solution was, why don't you try it for a week and then see if you like it? You're saying, no, I can't. If I take it, I have to complete it. No, you don't. There's no contract involved. Like, you can't get sued for it. The way I see it, you are doing them a favor. So it's perfectly fine for you to say, you know what, let me try the coaching for a week. And if I can fit it around my schedule, I'll continue it. But they ain't paying you nothing. Like, you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. So if you are to say, I just wanna try it and then see if I like it, I think that's reasonable. James not excited for the World Cup since they rescinded Ronaldo's red card. It's a farce. Yeah, the World Cup, to be honest, I'm never particularly excited about, but I think especially recently, and the red card is an example, but especially recently, it's just becoming more and more corrupt, and the organizers are becoming more and more brazen about how much it's about money. Like, we've always known that, to be honest, it's about money. Especially kind of given who certain draws have been given to in the past. But now, like, they're just getting more and more brazen about it, more and more open about it. Like, they don't care. So yeah, it takes the shine off it. Hyperfang, is that Ratata's most powerful move? Papaya says once more cutting cutting inside. It's annoying, isn't it? Because you just know every single time exactly what's going to happen. Nayab is making a prediction. I believe Portugal will win the World Cup. I respect the confidence with which you make a prediction. They certainly have a good chance. Jonathan says, but then my chance with the girl will be over. Not necessarily, but think about it this way, right? Think about it this way: if the girl only likes you, if you are willing to provide free coaching to her team, like if that's the condition based on which she likes you, then she never liked you in the first place. That's my advice. My sage old advice. Ian says, I don't know who's more relieved at half-time, myself or my next-door neighbour who's a Leeds supporter. I think unfortunately, probably you and me and most of the Liverpool fans. I've not been particularly happy with what I've seen this half. It's just it's different, but it's still unimaginative. It's still, for want of a better word, boring. not that nothing's happening. And it's too risk averse. It's too risk averse. I would just like this team just to take a few more risks here now and again. It's just the desire to always wait for the perfect opportunity, which doesn't always arrive. Papaya says, why don't we have zero control of the midfield? I don't know what the golden answer is, but I suspect motivation, perhaps the psychological mental side, is pretty low within that team at the moment. Callan says, struggling to score against Leeds is mad. Indeed it is. Struggling to create a decent chance is even madder, unfortunately. I think Liverpool hit the post once, but other than that, we need the big Swede on, man. We need that Swede who's currently on the bench. That's not poll draw, that's already scripted. As in, are you saying the draw already happened? Yeah, I saw it was happening yesterday. I didn't watch it though because I saw it online on my phone, but it just felt highly political and kind of dirty, to be honest with you. So I was like, yeah, no, thank you. This is so boring as usual. 100% agree. And if percentages went up to 1,000, I would 1,000% agree. It's just too risk averse. Like they just pass it left, right, waiting forever for the perfect opportunity. And my kind of concern with that is the perfect opportunity. You don't always have the perfect opportunity. Sometimes you got to take the 70% opportunity. Sometimes you got to take the 50% opportunity. Possession is pointless if you do nothing with it. Ian says, do you think Mo and Isak will come on second half? They definitely will come on in the second half. I guess the question is, at what point in the second half? Like if you think about Salah, I'm not convinced if you had Salah on the pitch right now, I'm not convinced that would make any sort of difference. Isak potentially, but with the midfield not creating anything, I struggle to see what difference Isak would make. I almost feel like the change has to be in the midfield. If I'm honest. But let's see. But it will make her feel like I can handle responsibility, which I can't. I mean, if you are saying you can't handle responsibility, that, to be fair, at least you're honest about it, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. But here's the thing. So you're saying she wants you to coach her football team for 2 weeks, and you're saying that you can't handle responsibility, which might be an even worse outcome, because if you commit to doing something and then you can't do it, then it will make things worse. I think that would make things worse than just not doing it at all, if that makes sense. Especially if your goal, reading between the lines, is to enhance some sort of relationship. If you say you're going to do something, then you have to do it. It's better just to say you won't do it rather than saying you're going to do it and then not doing it, because that outcome is even worse. Smiche, Garcia or Benayoun? It's got to be Luis Garcia, especially in that 2005 season. Nayab says, opportunity don't come, we have to try for it. Agree 100%. I'd like to see the team try a bit harder for that opportunity. They're just waiting around. I almost feel like they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to just fall into their lap, and that's not how it works. And that's not how they did things last year. Maybe it's overconfidence, but it's not good. James says, in football, you can only go round, through, or over a team. With a low block, you can't go through or over. So overload the wings and use the fullbacks as an extra man. I think that's a great idea, especially since they've got Kerkez. I feel like Kerkez is perfectly designed to be the extra man. So if the defenders are tracking Gakpo, Ekatike on the left hand side ish, Kerkez can be that extra man. Get out wide, use his pace, put a cross in, and if you put the ball into the box, you never know what will happen. You never know what will happen. Like, they might head it away and then you might volley it in, or it might bounce off a player's leg and then you get a deflection in. Like, I just feel like you have to put the ball in that danger area for something to happen. But this team even seems reluctant to put it into that danger area, which is annoying as hell. Jeffrey says, what's your take on the game so far? I mean, disappointing again, to be honest. It's a bit, yeah, as Saeed says there, pretty much. I don't feel like they've created any kind of clear-cut opportunities. The tactics still feel disjointed. It still feels like three separate teams, where the defense is one team, the midfield is a second team, and the forward line is the third team. They don't feel like a unified structure. They feel like three completely separate structures, who are all kind of doing their own thing. Did you ever play this game when you were a kid? And you probably didn't, but like, you would fold a piece of paper like in three horizontally, and then like your friend would draw like the head of a body, and then they'd fold the paper over. The second person would draw the torso of the body, they'd fold the paper over, and then the third person would draw the legs of the body, and then you'd open up the paper and see what kind of crazy monster you created. These are the games we used to play before computer games. But you'd have like some sort of disjointed Frankenstein's mess of a creation. This is what this team is. The midfield, the defense, and the attack are just not in tandem. And I do not like it one bit. Madden says, where do you watch the games? This one is on Sky. Nayab says, what do you think this season Arsenal break their curse? No. Arsenal won't break their curse. Arsenal will not break their curse until they get rid of Arteta. Zaim says, we don't have a right wing to allow Bradley space for third man runs to cross. Slot continued to play too narrow. That is true. That is true. Perhaps they can utilize the width on the left. Like I think on left, you've got Gakpo, you've got Kerkez. And maybe that's the side that they can focus on. Because I think the risk is if you have width on both sides, suddenly you're too wide. And then teams can play right through you. So I typically, I can't even get my words out. I typically prefer one side to be wide and the other side to be a bit less narrow. So maybe they can focus down the left. Will they do that? No. Will they do that? No. I can't lie. You're going to get another 45 minutes of rubbish. Salah will come on, not do much. Isak will come on and nobody will pass him the ball. I just want to see Kerkez out wide. If I see Kerkez out wide, I can die happy. Pat says, hey bro, how's it going, Pat? Croatia will win FIFA World Cup 2026. Who will agree? Your picture looks really familiar. That's what I'm wondering. Who's in your picture? Who agree? I mean, the thing is with Croatia, they always do very well in international tournaments. They have a winning mentality, so it would not surprise me. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll get very far. But they can win. Like it would not be outside the realms of possibility for them to win. Jonathan says, bro, that game will be more fun than FC26. I saw FC26 on sale at Black Friday. It was on sale and I still just didn't get it. I was like, I got no interest in that game. Jeffrey says, luckily I have a joint. Jeffrey is always prepared. Always prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst outcome. I think Jeffrey might need to invoice Liverpool Football Club for all the joints that they're making him buy. It's only fair. It's only fair. Liverpool pay for them. Pat wants Croatia to win because Luka Modric, and it's also his last. It would be a fine end to his career. I mean, what an amazing career that he's had. I remember when he used to play for Spurs. And I remember thinking at Spurs, he's good, but I didn't quite recognize how good he really was. For him to go from Spurs to Madrid and have the career that he's had, I think he's done amazing. It would put the icing on the cake if he was to win the World Cup. So I wouldn't be mad. I would not be mad if that happened. Pat says, bro, where are you from? I'm from England, UK. How about you? Here's the thing that I hate, because I was filling in a form today. Whenever you live in England, filling in a form is such a pain because you don't know, do I have to scroll down to England? Do I have to scroll down to where it says United Kingdom? Do I have to scroll up to where it says Great Britain? It's just, sometimes I wish it was just France, so I know where to scroll. But that's a first world problem, I can't lie. You never know how to fill in a form. Jeffrey says, I think you need the joint words will come easy. This is what this team is doing to us. We need to invoice Liverpool and charge Liverpool for what they're making us do. Jones, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai can cover high-flying fullbacks on both sides like the Klopp days. I do. There are certain aspects of those days that I miss, and that is one of those aspects. But here's the thing: If you get to say 75 minutes, 80 minutes, and you need a goal, why not try that? Give that a go. You might as well. Get Bradley running up and down the pitch. Get Kirkers running up and down the pitch, and use Szoboszlai's and Jones's energy to cover them. It's an option. Like it's certainly something they can try. I think as the time decreases and as they need a goal, it would be quite funny to see that. Nayab says, some MF gooners say we are better than Real Madrid. They have never defeated us. Hell nah. Well, it didn't go too well for them today against Villa. Buendia with a 90 plus 5 minute goal. I don't understand why Arsenal, and again, it's not every single Arsenal fan. I don't understand why certain Arsenal fans talk so much smack just to achieve absolutely nothing at the end of the season. It's the same pattern every single year, man. Before Christmas, talk a lot of smack. Just after Christmas, talk a bit of smack. March, complete opposite. Please feel sorry for us. Kroenke out. Whoever else out. Arteta out. Then they buy a bunch of average players and the cycle resumes. Pat says, which team would you support other than England in the World Cup? I tend to support whichever team has the most Liverpool players in it. So back in the day, it was Spain because you had your Alonso, your Torres, your Pepe Reina and so forth. These days, it would be Netherlands because you got your Gakpo, your Van Dijk, your Gravenberch, your Frimpong. Do you think I should take the offer? I do not think you should take the offer. If you can't commit to it, because like if you commit to this offer of coaching this team, people are going to rely on you. But you said previously you don't think you'll be able to stick to the commitment. So if you don't think it's feasible for you, then I would not take it. Pat says, is Paraguay playing good football recently? To be honest, I'm not too sure, but somebody else may have a better idea. Keith says score prediction for Leeds. I don't want to be negative, but I've got a bad feeling about this game. I've not seen I've not paused it, sorry. That's my fault. I apologize. It's still half time. There you go. But yeah, unless things change significantly, I don't see Liverpool getting much out of this. Wajwa's going to complain. Yeah, you should take them to court. I mean, if they're going to provide a dodgy app, at least ensure the dodgy app is of a decent quality. I mean, what are these people doing? Gakpo must be substituted, says Jeffrey. Yes, please. Because whenever he gets the ball, you just know... You just know he's going to cut inside onto that right foot and try and smack it. And again, maybe in previous seasons, like... this aspect of Gakpo was less well known, so maybe it worked better in previous seasons. But when you have matches, the other team watches tape on what you're doing, the other team researches what you're doing. That's why you need to constantly evolve what you're doing. But yeah, it's just at this point he's just far too predictable. Like, he can get the ball near the halfway line, but you know, as soon as he gets near the box, he's going to cut inside. Isak's warming up. Let's go. Please come on for Gakpo. Salah's warming up as well. Interesting. But you just know he's going to cut inside. Fish says, Sal McAllister to that team. Are they your local rivals in Poland? Jagiellonia Białystok. Are they your local rivals? Or is that a team you don't like? Because you don't like McAllister. You always say you hate McAllister. James says, Mr. Bravo, sometimes saying no, yeah, Jonathan, shows you know your self-worth, yeah. Because he's been asked to do some coaching and he's not going to get paid for it. And I was like, why are you agreeing to that? And then he said he's being asked by a girl that he likes, and therefore he wants to do it. My logic behind that was, if she's only going to like you if you do something for her, then she ain't the right one. Like, she should, like, there shouldn't be a dependency on her liking you. Like, oh, if you do this, then I like you. It just doesn't sit right. And he also said he doesn't know if he can commit to the coaching job. Like, he might be able to coach a little bit, but then not do it the next week. So if that's the case, then don't give them, don't say to them that you'll do something, and then when it comes around to it, then you can't be bothered. It's better just to say no. It's easier. I think Salah's leaving this summer. He just looks so angry. There are rumours that he may be off in January, but let's see what happens. Nayab says, some MF Chelsea fan says yesterday Sterling's better than CR7. Well, I've heard some crazy things in my time, but that might be the craziest. And Sterling, of all players. Was he being serious when he said this, or was he messing? Because if this person was being serious, then I'm seriously worried about this person's cognitive capability. Beast Boy says, yeet. Are you excited for FIFA 26? As in EAFC 26? To be honest with you, no. The last one I played was like the last FIFA. Would that be like FIFA 24 or FIFA 23? Like one of those. But to be honest, I'm not a massive FIFA guy. I used to be maybe around like, I don't know, FIFA 17, FIFA 18, back in those days. But these days I don't really play it as much. I prefer horror games and action games, to be totally honest with you. Second half has started. I should really start this timer back up. Why did the magnet sit on the wall to stay attracted? Does that mean the wall had to be a magnetic wall? Nayab says, what happened to big clubs like Real Madrid and Liverpool? That is the $1 million question. Real Madrid, I think they're still top of La Liga, to be fair. I don't entirely understand why they want to sack Alonso, but I'm not too familiar with the situation there. In terms of what's happened to Liverpool, it's probably a collection of things. They've significantly changed a league-winning team, which I appreciate you have to do sometimes, but they've significantly changed a league-winning team. But I don't think they are getting the best out of the new players. Like, Ekatike should score. Ekatike scored. As I say that, they are getting the best out of the new players, if that player is Ekatike. Let's go. That was a good finish, to be fair. Papaya says finally. I mean, this is literally why pressing is so important. I feel like the team hasn't really been pressing recently. But there, Ekatike did a high press on the ball and then basically had a one-on-one. But this is literally why pressing is so important. And in the last few games, I just don't feel like the team has been pressing. Yeah, it hasn't been coordinated. Yeah, you could be right. But that is what we want to see a bit more of, a bit more energy. Jeffrey says if he has another good half, Salah will stay. Possibly. He has signed a 2-year deal. My expectation with Salah was always he signed a 2-year deal, but I reckon he'll go to Saudi after 1 year. But the 2-year deal ensures that Liverpool get a fee for him. That was kind of how I always imagined. That playing out. Because I think they have, at the very least, tried to evolve this team. Oh, Ekitike goes down. But no penalty. But yeah, I think they've tried to evolve this team. Oh, is that Ekitike again? Ekitike again. Ekitike again. We're winning 2-0. Indeed we are. Can I just say the fullback got out wide. The fullback got out wide and put a cross in. I mean, we're preaching to the choir here, so hallelujah. But the fullback got out wide, put a cross in. Literally what we were crying about in the first half. Look at how wide Bradley is, and look at how high Bradley is, and look at what he did, put a cross in. Granted, we were more saying it about Kirkers, but I think the concept is the same. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see more of. And this is precisely what they just have not been doing recently. When you see your team struggling, it hurts more than a breakup. It can do. I guess it depends on who the breakup is with. Jonathan says the comment above. But the coaching. So the coaching that you've been employed to do is just telling them to do drills and flirt with that girl. Right, so you're going to be performing the Ruben Amorim role. So what do you think? I mean, do you not have to design the drills? Like, drills of what? And even if the task itself is a simple one, it's still going to be a constraint on your time. Like, it's still going to take up your time. And I presume you're going to have to travel to a pitch somewhere, and then you're going to have to travel back. Is that free, or do you have to pay for that? All these things you got to consider, man. Oh, they were doing a very silly VAR check, but it's onside. Trying to mess about with the VAR. Ekitike, Origi, or Obambo. I mean, it would naturally be between the first two. Ryan Babel is one of the biggest what ifs for me. I remember when he was signed, I was so excited that we were getting the next Thierry Henry, and then he turned out to be rubbish. Nayab says, why are Gooners talking rubbish things? They win nothing, still behave like they win everything. I mean, I believe they have some sort of kind of cognitive limitation. I believe that comes with supporting Arsenal. If you support Arsenal, I feel like You have to give up brain cells when you do that. And when you give up brain cells, this is how it manifests itself with silly predictions. But you're right. I don't understand the confidence for a team who's won nothing. For a team who does quite good at the start but falls off every single year. Zaim says, finally getting crosses into the box. Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, they're finally doing, to be fair, exactly what we were saying in the first half. You need to get a fullback up wide. Okay, granted, we were saying Kirkes, but I think that's besides the point. We were saying we need to get a fullback out wide and put crosses in. And that's literally what they did. They got Bradley out wide, very wide. Stuck a cross in, just put the ball in the box, and you never know what will happen. Put the ball in the box, just stick it in the danger zone. Something might happen. Take more risks. Stop passing it sideways. Take a risk. So yeah, I'm happy it's happened. I guess the question would be where has this been the past the past multiple games? But I guess better late than never. Babel never fit the Rafa Benitez system. If he went to Arsenal, his career would have been different. It certainly could have been. Ryan Babel, I remember at the time, like everybody was talking about him like he was the next Thierry Henry. So I presumed that he was going to play up front. But then Rafa always played him on the left. And I think he just never fit the left because he wasn't particularly fast and he wasn't a good dribbler. So he didn't really have the qualities of a stereotypical winger. But you're right. I think if he had gone to Arsenal, I think Arsenal, especially at that time in the 2000s, I think Arsenal were a lot better at nurturing and developing younger talent then. So I think it's a fair thing to say that if he had gone to Arsenal instead of Liverpool, things might have gone better for him. The funny thing, Liverpool are 5th now, but again, the table is so close that it almost doesn't matter. But I can almost ignore the league position. It's more about how effective they are on the pitch. Jonathan says, I will ask my former coach for the drills. The coach whose daughter was into me. Yes, I remember this. She was like older than you, from what I recall. Yeah, I remember this. Ooh, Ekatike. I mean, is it as simple as that? Like, can you just ask another coach what the drills are and then copy them? Do you not need to have drills that are specific to this team? I don't know. I just feel like you're doing work for free. And that's a significant, like it would have a significant impact on your time. Fish loves cucumbers. We're all aware of that. And is that ballerino cappuccino? That's that brain rot thing. Whatever happened to that? Is that still around or is that like a last year thing? Charlotte says Splatoon 3, Splatoon 2 or ARMS. I've never played ARMS. I have played Splatoon 2, which is very good. I have not played Splatoon 3. The annoying thing is it's a Nintendo exclusive, so at the moment I don't have a Nintendo console. I did used to have a Switch, which is where I used to play Splatoon 2 and it was really good. They need to release those on more platforms, like even if it's PC or something. That would be great. It annoys me like how they just keep their stuff exclusive. I was tempted to get a Switch 2 during Black Friday, but there's not really many games for it at the moment. But things may change very soon. Alim says, Salah, I thought you were on the bench. Only joking. You don't look like him. To be honest, a lot of people say that, but I'm glad you said that I don't look like him. A lot of people say I look like Salah. A lot of people say I look like Amarim. And that's the general gist of it. To be honest, I take it as a compliment. If I am to look like a manager, I'd want it to be Amarim. Like if they were calling me Sean Dyche or Sam Allardyce, I'd get very worried. But Amarim, like, okay, for a manager, could do worse. And same with Salah, I guess. Jonathan says it's simple. They're 7 to 9-year-old kids. I can ask him for the drills and give him a 6-pack of beer in return. You can, but again, why should you have to pay for something? Like 6-pack of beer costs money. So hold on. So this is for the coaching job that they're not gonna pay you for. Why? Yeah, I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic behind that. Yeah. Mr. Default says United. How are you doing? I know it's Arsenal last today. And remember, do you remember last month when everyone was saying, "Ah, bro, Arsenal have won the league, bro. Arsenal, it's Arsenal's league, bro." And to be fair, you were one of the only people who was agreeing with me in saying it's a long season. Arsenal are gonna get injuries. Arsenal are gonna drop points. So it's kind of funny that literal thing is happening that we said. People were acting like November is a foregone conclusion, which it never is. Because from November until Christmas, there's a very long time. And Christmas itself is not the end of the season. After Christmas is a very long time. So, drawing conclusions in November is crazy. Fish saying something I don't fully understand. Today's day of school is the best time to go to the final of the stream and present Arsenal. And the cat was to be a good person and present Arsenal. That doesn't make sense in any sort of language, if I'm honest. Have you put that into Google Translate? Because if you have, I would ask Google Translate for a refund, even though it's free. The general says Wirtz needs to find himself. Indeed he does. He has not been quite as effective today as he was in the last game. I personally want to see Wirtz develop a partnership with Isak, which is quite difficult. If Isak will start one game, Ekitike will start the next game. I just want to see, I guess first and foremost, I want to see some consistency in the forward line. And then if there is consistency, in the forward line, then that might empower Wirtz to find himself and to find his place in the team. I just find it a bit annoying that sometimes he's playing behind Ekitike, sometimes he's playing behind Isak, sometimes he's wide. It's a tad frustrating. Neab says, who do you think is the worst Premier League team? Probably Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think. Unfortunately, they're almost definitely going down. Zaim says, unpopular opinion, but I actually like Szoboszlai's more recent position, where he's slightly more reserved and deeper like Henderson used to be, maybe future captain too. The good thing about Szoboszlai is he can do the advanced role and the deeper role. Oh, don't score. Ooh, good save by Alisson. If that is any other, it's offside. But regardless, if that is any other goalkeeper, that's not being saved. Other than Courtois, if that's any other goalkeeper, that is not being saved. Yeah, the Szoboszlai's deeper role allows him to use his physicality to kind of sweep up and cover multiple positions, similar to what Henderson used to do and similar to what James Milner used to do. I'd say the advantage of having Szoboszlai in the more advanced role is that he can start the press in an aggressive manner. The downside to him being in the advanced role is I don't think he's a particularly good passer of the ball. I don't think he's a very good passer at all. So then, if you start him advanced, you get the aggression at the start of the press. But if you need him to play, Kirkes just kicks it out because why not? And the general is saying, get Robertson on, get Kirkes off, is going to cost us a goal. I don't understand why he just kicked the ball out. That was bizarre. But yeah, I guess the advantage with Szoboszlai being deeper is there's less of a reliance on him having to do the killer ball, which I don't think is his strength. He can use his physicality more, similar to what Wijnaldum, Milner and Henderson used to do. And that also gives the team a bit more aggression in the middle of the pitch. Because Wirtz is not a particularly aggressive player and Gravenberch is not a particularly aggressive player. So Szoboszlai adds that aggression. So yeah, I'd say in a ideal world, Wirtz is in the number 10 and Szoboszlai is a bit deeper. That's probably where they'll go long term. Jonathan says, it's not about the money, it's for the girl, man. Understand. Imagine you're 18-year-old kid, 18-year-old adult, and can get a chance with a 10 out of 10 for 10 to 15 pounds. But my logic is, if she's only going to like you if you do something, then she doesn't actually like you. But yeah, I might have thought about things differently when I was 18. Gakpo's going to cut inside. Gakpo cuts inside and goes wide. Fish, I have no idea what that means. I have no godly idea what that means. I presume it's Turkish, judging by the accented letters. But no idea, if I'm honest. Jonathan says, I can't say anything bad about Wolves because a 45-year-old... that's a good point. That's a good. I take a bit of ownership for that. Because when Jonathan first appeared, he didn't have a picture, and he said, "Can you recommend me a picture?" And I said, "Well, since you're called Johnny, I used to call him John. I used to actually call him Johnny back in the day, not Jonathan. But I said, okay, since you called Johnny, how about Johnny Bravo?" And then he was like, "All right." So that might be partly my fault. But yeah, obsessing over a girl as Johnny Bravo is very ironic. And I hadn't even noticed that. Ooh, Kanate, good header, but good save. Header from a corner, but good save. Yeah, to be fair, that's a very good point because that's all that used to happen in that cartoon. What I used to find funny about Johnny Bravo was like his upper body was massive, but he had the tiniest little legs. Nayab says, some MF, that's your favourite word today. Friend of mine says Chelsea is the worst Premier League team ever. That MF is an Arsenal fan. I mean, clearly Chelsea are not. Chelsea are a very good team, very dangerous team. Chelsea have a chance to win the league this season. I mean, if you're saying the worst team ever, that would require a bit of thinking. But the worst team this year would be Wolves. Would you rather live in a giant library or giant candy store? It's gonna have to be giant library, because I think living in a giant candy store is very dangerous, and I probably wouldn't stay alive there very long. Reluctant Gamer is giving Slot ideas. Ekatike scores twice. Will he be dropped the next game? Indeed he will. Ekatike could score 100 times. He could cure the common cold, and he could solve world peace all at the same time. But Slot would still drop him, because Slot does not know what he's doing. Good tackle by Konate. I mean, Konate's realized that Real Madrid don't want him anymore, and suddenly he's defending again. Since Ekatike is playing well today, can we bring Isak on for Gakpo, and maybe move Ekatike out wide just to see how that would work. Zaim says reluctant. I already said that. Slot will probably start Isak. Oh, they're doing a VAR check. There's nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with that tackle. Okay, it was a bit dodge. It was a bit dodge. Like on a 1 to 10 scale, it was like 2 out of 10 dodgy. But you don't need to check that. Take your bald head back. Take your bald head back to the pitch. Take your bald head back to the pitch. Mo Skelt says, hello, who do you support? I'm supporting the Reds, Liverpool. How about you, Mo Skelt? That tackle's fine, I think. I think that's fine. I'm reading lips. He's saying number 5. Is he giving it? I've got it on mute. Oh, fuck you! He's giving it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a 2 out of 10 at worst. You know what? Fair play to Konate for that. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen a lot worse. At least, you know what? I like the fact that Konate is at least trying to make the tackle. I just think that's a bad decision. They need to miss this penalty because they don't deserve a goal here. For fuck's sake, man. They do not deserve a way into this game. Calvert-Lewin scored the penalty, but that's a joke. That is ridiculous. Like of course there's gonna be a bit of contact. It's a contact game. I've seen more clear penalties not be given than that. Don't worry, this bunch of clowns are gonna probably apologize after the full time. That's ridiculous. Moscow Sports Manchester United. Where are you playing tomorrow? Or is it Monday? Is it Monday that you're playing? I think you might be playing Monday evening. Jonathan says, you are thinking about a long-term relationship with her. I'm thinking about a 3 to 4 month relationship with her. I know she will leave me like 7 other girls. Wow, that took a bit of a morbid turn at the end. Well then maybe Zame's point was correct then. Like maybe show a bit more self-worth. Show a bit more confidence. And be like, hell no. That's what I'd say. Stick up for yourself. Why is he going to ground in the box, even if it's a harsh pen? I just like, to be fair, I just like the fact that Kanate is putting a bit of effort in. I've not seen that in a while. I've not seen him actually. I've not seen him actually go for a tackle in a while. So I was like, yeah, he's tackling again. Now that Madrid don't want him anymore. Now he's bothering to actually make a tackle, and then that turned out to be a penalty. Most Gal says, yeah, we play against Wolves on Monday, 9 o'clock. It's probably 8 o'clock, right? But yeah, Monday evening. To be honest, you will probably batter them because Wolves are terrible. Have you got a score prediction for that game? Or are you just waiting to see what will happen? Ian says, no. Oh, are you? Oh, for God's sake, I forgot that Ian is a few seconds ahead of me. So I was like, are you? I was like, are you saying no about the penalty? And then as I was trying to get the words out, Leeds have effing equalised. Oh, for fuck's sake. I was literally like, yeah, the penalty, right? Yeah, and then as I'm saying that, Wolves are whacking it in. Sorry, not Wolves, Leeds. Nice one, Curtis. Great defending, Curtis. Just let the player walk through. Just let him walk through. Let him cut inside. You know the thing that Gakpo does every single game, 500 times a game. That's the exact thing the Leeds player just did. Effing ridiculous this is, man. I can't even update the damn score properly. I'm tempted just to put the score as this. There's your new score. There's your new score. I'm happy at least Richard is happy. At least somebody is happy, which is important. Which is important if you think about it. I mean, it's the way it's the way they just walked through the defense and just whacked it in, and nobody even bothered making a tackle. It's Liverpool's fault entirely. Like that should not be an excuse. That is Liverpool's fault entirely. They can't blame anybody else. Jesus Christ. Is Isak on the pitch yet? Salah's definitely not on the pitch. I don't know if Isak's on the pitch. Isak's warming up, and Robertson's warming up. But like, what's Isak supposed to do in like 10 minutes? Bunker says, me and my friends challenged this group to a game of football. We were thrashing them, but afterwards we found out the team was imaginary. Yeah, just like this bunch of this god awful. I mean, I wish this god awful team that I was watching was imaginary, but unfortunately, they are very real. Moscal says, I'm sorry for the 2-1 win against y'all. I'm so sorry. That's okay. I accept your apology. Just make sure it doesn't happen. Make sure it doesn't happen again. Then we're good. Alam says, beautiful, 2-2. Is Jones just going to do another speech after he let Stach walk past him? You are right. You are right. He just let that player completely cut inside, didn't he? Cut inside onto his right foot and whack it in. To be honest, he's probably not going to do another speech, but equally, it does make the speech he did last week look even more silly. Finley says, some rough season this you're having. I mean, maybe it's karma. Maybe it's karma for how Liverpool acted during the whole Isak situation. I will at least say I was nice during the situation, but maybe it's deserved. Maybe it's deserved to a certain degree. Here's to Bosley! Ooh, 3-2. I don't quite give up yet. I haven't given up just yet. I think I'm just gonna leave. I give up on the screen because that seems to be my good luck charm. I'm just gonna leave it. It also means I don't have to keep updating the damn score. So it's just gonna say I give up. I partly think the players are doing this on purpose to get the manager side. I do think there is a level of internal beef. There is a level of internal disruption within the team. Ian says 3-2. Yeah, good Sabazlai finish. To be fair, good Sabazlai finish because even though he got into a good position there, you don't always see those go in. Nice low finish. Ian's convinced me. Ian says, I have faith and belief. So, if Ian's got faith and belief, then I also have faith and belief. There you go. I have faith, belief, and a heart attack because I don't know if I can hang on for another 10 minutes. Mo says, who's the best Liverpool player for you right now? You can say your opinion on Man United too if you want. The best Liverpool player right now is the one that just scored, Szoboszlai. Because he's been, even in games where the majority of the team is performing badly, he still performs quite well. He does the defensive work. He runs into the box from an attacking perspective, as we've just seen. So it'd be Szoboszlai. You can say your opinion on Man United too if you want. The thing is with Man United, I quite like the transfer window that they had this year because typically they always go for the Hollywood signing, you know, the Paul Pogba, the Anthony, the Jadon Sancho, the Zlatan. They typically always go for the Hollywood signing, but this year they made astute signings. In terms of, take Mbeumo as an example. Mbeumo is not a Hollywood signing, but he's Premier League proven, and he was ready to take the next step up. So I think their recruitment this year has certainly been a lot better. You might need to make a managerial change, if I'm honest. I'm not sure the Premier League is the best fit for Amorim, but I can certainly say from a I was going to say from a purchasing perspective, but I was going to say from a procurement perspective. Well, that'll do. From a procurement perspective, things have been better. Jonathan says, "Oh, Gakpo's coming on. Thank the Lord, my prayers have been answered. I prayed to every god imaginable, including Thor, Zeus, and all the Nordic gods, just to get Gakpo off the pitch, and thankfully he's off now." Jonathan was saying, I know it's a Wolves game because the 45-year-old alcoholic who lives above you starts yelling. And then you decided to start an argument with him. I would not recommend that. He does not seem like a friendly customer. Yeah, Ian's on edge as well, just like just like me and just like everyone else. Get Kanate gun by 2 centre backs in January. The Leone, I mean the Leone. I was gonna say lifetime injury. The Leone season-long injury is a bit of a bummer. I think two centre backs would not hurt. I think if you had any sort of cover and you had any sort of depth, Kanate would not be starting these games. Even though I like the fact that he's at least putting a bit of effort in today. But if you consider the previous games, if there was any sort of depth, he wouldn't be starting. I don't know is proposing to Sabazlai. I will pass that message on and let you know what he says. Most else says United have Schmeichel in disguise. Is this that Simmons guy? But the point remains that I was saying. Was this signed for decoration? Yeah, it is Christmas soon. They just wanted to hang him on the tree and then and then that's it. They look very shiny, look very bright, but they won't actually use him. But yeah, the Simmons guy. Simmons, something like that. Simmons, something like that. But again, he again falls into that bucket in terms of United are not making Hollywood signings. They're just signing good players who are not too expensive, who want to take the step up. I think that's smart business. Nayab says some MF. Whenever Nayab says some MF, it means Arsenal fans. Believe they'll win Champions League easily. Yeah, do you know which team I'm talking about? As soon as you said some MF, I said it's going to be Arsenal fans. It is a fine level of delusion. Kanate needs to be third choice, maybe even fourth in my eyes. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. He's been given plenty of chances. I do think he's slightly better today, but irrespective of the penalty. But outside of that, I do think he's been given plenty of chances, and he's been rubbish. He's been garbage. So he should be further down the pecking order. Charlotte says bet. Does that mean I agree if someone says bet? Alim says Gravenberch is going to Madrid next year. Inside scoop. I heard he's signing a new contract with Liverpool. Last I heard. Is drop-off has been as bad as Fabinho? You might be right. The Fabinho drop-off was just like that. He went from like a world-class... He went from a world-class amazing player to absolute garbage in the space of a few months. Moskelt is from Serbia. Very nice. So did you support Man United because of Nemanja Vidic? Vidic was Serbian, wasn't he? Is that what made you support? Is that what made you support Man United, like because of Vidic, or another reason? The general says, how's the blood pressure? My watch isn't complaining, so that's a positive. There's no complaints. No complaints on the watch. I'm still just on my homepage. That's a picture I took in Canada. But there's no complaints. So if my watch says the blood pressure is okay, I'm taking that as a positive. Fish says ooh indeed. Mo Scout says, yeah, you nailed it. Nice. I'm quite happy about that. Yeah, Vidic is a very good centre back in the day. For anyone who's not aware. Adarsh says, dirty Leeds. I'm a bit worried. Have Leeds got another goal? Because I know I'm running behind. So if you're saying dirty Leeds in capital letters, and they're about to put a cross in. But I'm hoping you're just talking generally. Fingers crossed. Why are Leeds fans chanting about Isak? No idea. I've got it muted. You'll have to let me know. General says that Szoboszlai should be captain. I certainly think he's a future captain, because even when the team is performing badly, he's still pushing the team on. He runs back to defend. I think from a media perspective, he's very good as well. He says the right things in terms of we should be looking to win every game. Blah blah blah. He's a captain for Hungary. I believe he was the captain at Leipzig, possibly. So he's experienced, even though he's very young. I certainly think he's a future captain. 100%. It's mad how tight the game is, says a reluctant gamer. Indeed it is. It is very mad. I'm still on edge. 9? Where have they got a 9 from? What's going on, guys? 9 minutes. I was hoping to be, bish bash done in the next 2 minutes. Go do a bit of exercise and then enjoy the 3 points. But the 9 minutes is not good for the old blood pressure. I mean, I don't have bad blood pressure, but this team might give me that. Apparently, we're looking at Diomande. Is he the guy that plays for Sporting? Defender, possibly. But yeah, we need a centre back. Newcastle done poor today, 2-1 versus Burnley. Is that a win against Burnley or a loss against Burnley? I think you won, although I might be remembering that wrong. Mo Skelt says Nemanja Vidic was the player that would put his head in places where other footballers wouldn't put their feet. Yeah, there is a clip, isn't there, where he's doing a diving header. When the ball is like my watch has searched for diving header, but yeah, he's very brave to put his head in those places, because if there's a collision, it's not going to end well. So you do respect the bravery. Chelsea Arsenal dropped points. Can't afford a draw here. 100%, especially after going 2 goals up. To go 2 goals up and then draw is just good tackle, Konate. Apologies for that. Good. That was a good tackle by Konate. But yeah, a draw would be catastrophic. I think Mo is done at Liverpool, says the general. I believe so too. I believe, though, Liverpool will sell him to Saudi, get a big chunk of change, and then what will happen will happen. Oh, you won. Okay, that's pretty good. A win's a win, even if it's a. I'd take a scrappy 2-1 win against Burnley at this point. Jonathan says, I think I will choose self-respect instead of Giat. I will decline the offer. Drink the 6-pack with my former coach while talking about prime Jamie Vardy and his personality and how cool he was. Damn right. I'm glad to have given you a sense of confidence. That's good to hear. Mo Scout says, how do you feel about the World Cup draw? To be honest, I didn't pay much attention to it because it felt highly politicized yesterday. And with the whole award ceremony, I was like, this is not football. And today I haven't checked the draw. to be honest with you, I've been super busy. I believe England are with Croatia and I believe Scotland are with Brazil. But I haven't looked into it particularly deep. I don't know, his heart stopped. Ian says a nutmeg tackle and a damn good one. Szoboszlai's alright when Slot doesn't play him at right back. He's a lot better when he's not at right back. Thankfully, Bradley's back now. Gomez is getting fitness and Frimpong should be back very soon. So you should not see Szoboszlai at right back again. Adash says Stam was also very brutal in defending. Yeah, Stam with his big, bold head. I was going to say he was like the Van Dijk before the Van Dijk, but other than Van Dijk being Dutch, there probably wasn't much commonality there. Jacob and Alim are saying 3-3. It's still 2-3 on mine, but let's see what happens. Good tackle for Kanate. Yeah, broken clock twice a day. That's a good way of putting it, to be fair. Moscow says, yeah, England, Croatia, Panama, and Senegal or Ghana. I'm not sure. A decent draw. England seem to always get paired with Croatia, to be fair. It's one of those things that always seems to happen. Alim says konnichiwa. Well, I am going to Japan in 2 months, and I need to learn a bit of Japanese. So you've got me off to a good start. Does that mean like hello? Does that mean they're gonna score? If Ian's not happy, I think this is gonna go in. Ah, F off, man. I'm back to giving up. I'm back to giving up on life. Oh, God. Oh, right, because it was Tanaka. Is he Japanese? Is that what that was about? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is... I keep coming up with things to say, and like none of them are particularly nice or articulate, so then I just stop myself from saying them. But it's it's not good. Adarsh says FIFA do not want to see France in the finals again. That would be understandable. To be honest, if they put Konate in defense, they are not getting them. Shazzy says 3-3, get in. It's just rubbish, isn't it? Ian says this is painful. Whose fault was that goal? Whose fault was that goal? Because viewing seeing the replay, that Tanaka guy, he was completely unmarked at the back post. So Liverpool have let Leeds get back. No, don't shrug. Why is the referee? What? Ooh, that was close. But yeah, why was Tanaka so open at the back post? Isak header, ooh, just wide. That's a replay, I think. I don't know, because I don't have the volume on. Letting Leeds get back into the game once is bad enough. Letting Leeds get back into the game twice is unforgivable. Zaim says Slot is at fault. I agree. And I feel like that statement is accurate for the last 2 months. It's effing Daniel Farker as well. I totally forgot about Daniel Farker. It's effing Daniel Farker as well. Slot's been at fault for all of this, to be honest. At this point, how long can this kind of continue to go on? Steven says, hello, like just only tuned in. I don't think I've been doing that too much today. And like, I've never asked like your name. My name's Umar, spelled Umar. Lockdown Gamer says, what a disaster. Disaster indeed. Dave says, get a job. I have a job. You think all this stuff is for free? It costs money. Timu Footballer says it's 4-3. I mean, I'm almost too scared to ask which way around the 4-3 is. But the fact that you've put the 4 at the start and the fact that Leeds have the ball concerns me. But it is 9 minutes are up. 9 minutes are up. So can anything happen? Dropping Salah hasn't made anything better. I think that's a fair assessment at this point. So if dropping Salah does not make anything better, does that insinuate that the root cause of what we are experiencing is not down to any specific player? It must be a tactical thing. It surely must be a tactical thing if dropping Salah hasn't really fixed anything. Like it was an important thing to try, and I think you need to try different things. But it's full time now, full time. Mo Scout says this is a disaster. Dot can't take it anymore. Is that a Pokeball in your picture? Still 3-3 ends, says Zach. Jaleem says Salam bro, Slot has got to go at this point. I mean, I agree. I think I agree at this point. But I'd be interested to know, like, if he's gonna go, then somebody has to come in, which is fine, which is okay. But who would people want in? Finished 4-3. Most Gelt. Zame says, Slot said last season he won't focus on set pieces and was the last thing to focus on when coaching at a new club. Look how consistently weak we have been. Yeah, weak. You called the team turgid the other day. I remember you called the team turgid the other day, and that's literally what we're seeing. There's also kind of no kind of coherency, if I'm honest with you. No kind of coherence. I always say Liverpool are rubbish, but at least my lights look nice. That's what I always say. But like, there's no. I just feel as well. A lot of the goals, they felt like, I don't want to say they were lucky. But I felt like a lot of it was down to individual brilliance rather than tactical nous. And you can only rely on individual brilliance you can't consistently rely on individual brilliance. You have to have some semblance of coherent tactics, which this guy doesn't have anymore. Reluctant Gamer says you're a strong fan. A lot of fans be crying. Yeah, I've seen I've seen a lot of worse than this. When I was 14, I'm not going to tell you that story. I probably shouldn't tell you that story. But I've seen a lot worse than this in life, should we say. Alim says, who would you like for the job? It depends. Are you available? Because I think you would do a better job. Slot got too cocky and stopped using Klopp's tactics. You might be onto something with that. I can't with these results anymore. It's the same every week. Lose, draw, lose, draw. I mean, the consistent theme is it's consistently not good enough. I think at this point, the manager's been given enough chances, and it's evident. It's evidently not working. Let's think about this properly. It's evidently not working. Manager tries plan A, doesn't work. Tries plan B, doesn't work. Tries dropping Salah, doesn't work. Plays Ekitike, gets a few goals, but still ends up losing. Starts Isak, doesn't work. Benches Isak, doesn't work. And I think as well, it's also possibly not purely what you see on the pitch. Like, what you see on the pitch is the tactical side and the technical side. But I think mentally there might be some sort of beef there, potentially with the manager and the players. I think sometimes we perhaps focus a bit too much on the kind of tactical side, and player A is good because player A scores goals. Player B is bad because player B does not score goals. But I think there must be some sort of internal power struggle, maybe some sort of internal beef going on. And I think when you get into that situation, I think you ultimately need to, from a managerial perspective, make a change. Yeah, Alonso did get the best out of those players. Jalil says this is the end of Slot tonight. Shows he can't manage the team. Yeah, I'm starting to agree with you. And the thing is as well, I think if you were to make a managerial change now, you can at least have the confidence that, you know what, you did the right thing. You did the right thing by the person. You didn't sack him too early. Because I think sometimes if you sack someone too early, it can send the wrong message. But I don't think this is too early now. I think he's been given enough of a chance. He's changed things up. They haven't worked. He's dropped Salah, hasn't worked. Dropped Isak, hasn't worked. I don't know how long you can continue to settle for draws that you should be winning and for losses that you should be drawing or winning. Adash says, kudos to Farker. Almost drew City, defeated Chelsea and drew Liverpool today. Daniel Farker. Let's get Daniel Farker in. I'm joking. What I will say, I am in favour of a change, but the people that say get Gerrard in, I was going to say get your eyes tested, but just remove your eyes and get a stick instead, because your eyes are of no use to you. So if you get Slot out, I want to see somebody competent in. No Gerrard till the end of the season. No nonsense like that, please. Zaim says, I wouldn't be crying. We had Konchesky and Kyriakos. Oh boy, those were the days. Christian Poulsen. Do you remember Christian Poulsen? Time to bench Van Dijk. It's not. There's who would you replace him with? There's nobody else. Mo Scout. Liverpool squad was so connected to the Klopp system, and Slot just destroyed it, signing big name players and making them flops like Vert. He's changed the makeup of the team, which I appreciate you have to do, because the players in the old system will age and they only have so much mileage. But equally, it's the job of the manager to get the best out of the new players, and I don't think he's got the best out of Vert, and he certainly has not gotten the best out of Isak. Slot out, Pixel in. Well, if you're in, then we might win the quadruple, which I would like, but you probably wouldn't like. Jeffrey says, yes, they were lucky. They're still running around like headless chickens. Is that Leeds? Is that Leeds? The only thing is, it just feels like every team is somehow lucky against Liverpool. So I just feel like it's Liverpool's fault, because, like, I'm saying like again, Steven's not going to be happy about that. But Liverpool are the common denominator, and Slot is the common denominator. Joe says, my food teacher at school always said, get the simple things right. Liverpool should take notes. Indeed they should. To be honest, half of these players would probably be better as chefs. So your food teacher might be able to retrain them as chefs because they don't know how to kick a ball. Zaim says, I think because he's trying multiple plans, we are not creating a consistent base to build upon in terms of an on-field relationship. An example of that could be starting Isak one game and then starting Ekatike the next game and then starting Isak the next game and then starting McAllister in the next game, starting Jones the next game. When we see positive, he still changes the team, leaving players confused. 100%. It leaves players confused and it also does not allow the players to build upon that positivity. You'd think, as an example, Isak scores, okay, now you are starting to get him getting a bit of confidence and you're starting to get him integrated into the team. But as soon as he scores, he's out the next game. It's bizarre. Charlene says, do you think it's time to sack Slot? I'm in that corner now. Honestly, like the city. Oh, you're right. I totally forgot that they'd conceded 3 again. Like in my mind, that hadn't registered that it's another game where they've conceded 3. 3 today. 3, was it 4 against Nottingham Forest? 4 against PSV, 3 against Nottingham Forest, 3 against Man City. At this point, you were listening. To be fair, I corrected myself. I corrected myself. I accidentally said the word and I said, "Oh no, Steven's not going to be happy about that." But it's good. it's good that I have a tolerance, should we say? I can say up to 10 times, which is a positive. As Charlene was saying, do you think it's time to sack Slot? I'm in that corner now. Honestly, the 6th time conceding 3. I would say yes. But sacking someone is half the story and is half the solution. It would be dependent on who is available to bring in. For example, if they say sack Slot and we'll get Gerrard in till the end of the season, I would say absolutely not, over my dead body. No, thank you. But if the solution is sack Slot, get Glasner in or get Alonso in, then yes, I think that could work well. So it depends. For me personally, and everyone's got a different opinion, which is perfectly fine. For me personally, it would depend on who's available to come in. Because we need like somebody good to do the job, I think. Mo Scout says, people say Klopp may come back to Liverpool for another season because Slot bought Liverpool so much pain. Whilst I would be excited to see that and just curious to see what Klopp would do with Kerkez, forget about Wirtz and Isak. I'd be very curious to see what Klopp would do with Kerkez. Whilst I would be very curious and excited to see that, it does not strike me as a long-term solution because Klopp left on his own will, because he was tired, because he was exhausted. So I don't want him, like we're Klopp's ex-girlfriend. And it's never a good idea to go back to your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend. It's never a good idea. So I wouldn't want Klopp to come back for him to then disappear again after a year. I'd want some sort of long-term solution where you can build something for the long term. I think bringing somebody back for 1 year is just increasing the level of instability. And I would want a degree of stability. Bring Zidane. The thing is with Zidane, I'm not sure that he speaks English. I would want somebody who can communicate with the team, with the media. Absolutely not. That will never happen. But it would be funny for like a sec. It would be funny for a second, and then for the remaining year, I would just cry. But it would be funny for 1 second. I just feel like someone new would get more out of the players. I agree. For me, the concern also is not purely from a tactical perspective. I suspect something has gone on in the background mentally and socially, in terms of how the employees, as in the players, respond to the manager. Like something has happened. Why Salah been dropped? I just think it's not a happy family at the moment. I don't know what the root cause of that is, but ultimately it's the manager's ship, so he could have a degree of responsibility. Zayn prefers Andoni Iraola over Glasner. He's also a good choice. My only kind of slight reservation would be: do you feel like it's too big a step up to Liverpool? Like it might be fine, it might be great, but that's the only thing. Do you feel like it could be too big a step up? Alonso would be great for Liverpool. He certainly has the potential. He certainly has the potential to be great for Liverpool, and additionally, we know he has a good relationship with Wirtz. We know he has a good relationship with Frimpong, and we know he has a good relationship with the fans. So I think those are all points that are important. Jaden says, lol, relegation. I mean, if you're going to spell it 5 times, at least spell it correctly. but I mean, if Liverpool get relegated, they at least have a chance to win something next year. So things are on the up. Pixel says, no Diaz, thank the team. But to be fair, the thing is with Diaz, at least number one, it provided a level of competition on the left-hand side. So Gakpo did not have an automatic starting spot. And the second good thing about Diaz was he was a very unpredictable player. You don't know, is Diaz going to go wide? Is Diaz going to cut inside? Is Diaz going to take a shot? Is Diaz just going to dribble through the middle? Is Diaz going to play a 1-2? Diaz at least brought a level of unpredictability. Whereas with Gakpo, my dead grandma can tell you he's going to cut inside on his right foot. So with Diaz, they've lost. By not having Diaz, they've lost the unpredictability. Charlene says, listen to the press conferences. He isn't motivating us. That's a good point. If he's not filling us with confidence, is he really going to be filling these players with confidence? I did not think about it that way, but I think that's a good point. As Steve says, I think you're right. I think he's lost the dressing room. Football skills, footballers. Do you remember me? I do remember you. From the other day. When I think you asked me like 7 times, do you remember? Yeah, it was something like that. But yes, I do remember you. How's it going? Hope you're doing better than most of us are doing. MLS Cup final on right now. Nice. Who's playing in that? Muella versus Messi. So one must be Inter Miami, and the other one is whoever Muller plays for. Pixel says, watch along. I can put it on. I don't know how long I'll stay here for, but I'll see if I can put it on. NY123, is that New York 123? Because look, I've got your name on my hat. I predicted you would appear, so I got your name printed on my hat. Sitting Mo Salah on the bench won't fix a manager who can't manage. Slot is lost. I agree, and I think it also potentially proves that Salah wasn't the problem, because you've played him, you've lost games, and then when you bench him, you also lose games or draw games. Same difference. So that to me proves proves that it's not a Salah problem. Martin says, how much do you want to bet they still won't sack him? In all likelihood, I think you're correct. I don't think they'll sack him. I think they'll probably wait until January at the earliest, I think. It's free on Apple TV in the States. Well, I am on a Mac at the moment, so Apple TV should be free on this. But it might be free in the US, but not for us. MLS. Miami, Vancouver. Watch live. I wish Klopp comes back, bro. He was way better than Klopp. The thing is with Klopp, unfortunately, I think that's gone. I think that age is gone. I think that time's gone. Like, he could come back. I hope Stephen wasn't listening to what I just said. He could come back, but his heart is not in it for the long term, and I do not want him back for 1 year for him to then disappear. I mean, I respect the username, I can't lie. That is a level of commitment where you just gotta say, you know what, fair play. The thing is as well, like with Amorim, I'm like, you know what? As far as managers go, I think Amorim is like a decent looking manager. So if you wanted to look like a manager, like if you had a list of like top 10 managers you want to look like, I'd say Amorim is probably quite up there. So I actually don't mind when people say Amorim. I'm just glad people don't call me Sam Allardyce. Could be worse. Thoughts on Pep Linders on an interim? I don't think Pep Linders strikes me as like a serial number 2. Like he's like a serial specialist number 2. He went to Leipzig, didn't he, or one of those RB clubs, and it just didn't work out well for him. Whenever he gets the top job, he seems to crumble. I would want Linders, whatever his name is, to at least try and prove himself as a manager first. Because whenever he gets employed as a manager, he manages to screw it up. Okay, he's handsome, but what about his tactics? That is true. His tactics are deceptively uglier than his complexion. Liverpool are still crap. So that's still fun. Thing is, our manager has told us we're in for a rough ride. So you're mentally prepared. Fair enough. At least there's a. Sometimes when you know what to expect, it can cushion the blow. It can cushion the blow. Cal loves Leeds. Zame says, realistically, I think FSG will go for Van Bronckhorst. Really? As interim, and then hopefully Nagelsmann after the World Cup. What I will say is, do FSG strike you as a interim manager type of organization? Because if you recall Brendan Rodgers, I believe he was sacked in October, and they brought out a permanent replacement. From what I recall, FSG don't strike me as the interim manager type of organization, because I'd argue interim manager shows a lack of long-term planning. I feel like they always do their long-term planning in the background, so that if Slot was to go, or if Slot was to, die in a car crash, or if Slot was to get some sort of illness, they would have like a backup plan. So they don't strike me as like a short-term interim manager type of crew. I would like to think, and I would like to hope, that they have a long-term solution. I'm so hungry. I've been fasting. Oh wow! How long have you been fasting for? How many hours? Football skills underscore footballers. Liverpool are losing more games than Slot is growing hair. Yeah, but Slot is growing zero hair. So. But I take the point. I take the point. Reluctant Gamer says, can use really sack Slot this year after winning the league. I think that's what makes it a tough decision. And that's what makes the situation all the more complex. If for argument's sake, he had not won the league last year, I reckon he potentially would already have been sacked. But it makes it a lot harder. Just casting my mind back, I remember Claudio Ranieri won the league and then got sacked the year after he won the league. But I appreciate every ownership group and every club has different expectations. So it will be interesting to see what they do. You fasted for 24 hours. What, hold on. 40 hours? Is that hours or minutes? How the F are you fasting for 40 hours? How? That's got to be minutes. Nah, it can't be minutes. You fasted for 24 hours. Just 24 hours and you did 40. I do not have that skill, I can't lie. I do not have that skill. Zaim says the unemployed manager market is not great at the moment. Very true. But to be fair, they don't necessarily have to shop in the unemployed market. They can buy out the contract of a manager, like Glasner, for example. As an example, his contract is up at the end of the season. They could quote unquote buy Glasner. Like just like they bought Slot. Like Slot had a contract and they paid. I think they paid 10 million for Slot. So they could conceivably buy a manager, which is what I think they do. Frat says hello man. Frat says hello man. Frat says hello man. And then one more for good luck. Frat says hello man. How's it going, Frat? You're used to it from Ramadan. Impressive. I do not know how you manage to fast for 40 hours, but that's impressive. If I don't eat anything for 2 hours, like I start getting hungry. 40 hours is very impressive. Alfie says, bro, have you seen the Liverpool game? Yes. It's because that's why this says I give up on there. To be fair, because I was updating the score as I was going, and then I was like, I give up with this team. So yeah, we've been watching the game. Frat says, bro, cool. Alfie says, are you a Liverpool fan? Indeed, it is a bit tough at the moment, but you gotta support the team when they're losing, not just when they're winning. Sweat says, do you not think Herzler for a new manager? Herzler? Who's Herzler? That name sounds familiar. Oh, as in the Brighton guy. Yeah. Potentially. He wouldn't be. Brighton. He wouldn't be my top choice. He's an option. Where are Brighton in the league? Let's have a look. Where are Liverpool in the league? Let's have a look. So Brighton are 10th, but to be fair, they've played one less game. 1-6, drawn 4, lost 4. it's a decent record. I'd maybe want somebody a bit more accomplished, but it's not the worst idea in the world, by any means. I can't even fast for 30 minutes. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's very it is difficult. Alfie says, "Who's your favorite? As in favorite player or favorite manager to replace Slot?" Phoenix says, "This might sound a bit crazy, but how about Rafa Benitez?" Well, the thing is, I was watching 2005 highlights literally last night before I went to sleep. So you might have caught me at a good time. I mean, Benitez would have been my first choice, but I'd rather Benitez over Gerrard. Some people are saying nonsense like, let's get Gerrard and Carragher as a partnership. And I'm like, what are you people smoking? Because ban that substance instantly and remove it from the earth, because that is insane. Gerrard and Carragher partnership. Jesus Christ. So I mean, Rafa would be above them. James says, "Ange, mate, was a Liverpool fan, mate. His press conferences are funny." With Ange does have a certain lovable quality about him. I would love to see Ange for like a month, just to see 11 men ahead of the ball. Like super attacking football. I'm not sure my heart could take Ange for longer than a couple of months, but initially it'd be hilarious. It would at least make the games exciting, which you can argue that's a big part of watching it. I would be excited for like maybe 2 or 3 months before I have post-Ange clarity when when suddenly we're leaking goals like a leaky tap. But it would be fun. It would be fun at the start. Sweat says, "Who's your idea? What's your favorite for the job?" I mean, Glasner would be a good shout, but I would like to think and I would like to hope FSG, Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, they have something up their sleeve that is not the obvious answer. Brandon says, "Trust the process." I trusted my process. I did trust the process. Now I have to buy just for men. Because you see the graying. It's probably not a good sign because I have dyed it recently. But trusting the process has only improved just for men's profit margins, unfortunately. Pixel don't like Benitez, but he'd be fine. Yeah. I mean, Benitez, like, realistically speaking, like, would not be a long-term solution. And there is an argument to say, if it's not a long-term solution, why are you doing it? Because by not implementing a long-term solution, you are merely moving the problem to a later date. I say this at work every time when people come up with dumb ideas, but I'm like, that's not a long-term solution. So you're just moving the problem to a later date. So the romantic in me says it might be kind of cool just to see a level of organization and a level of defensive nous that we've not seen for a while, but realistically, probably not. Riley says time is still going. That's a very good point. Very good point. I shall stop that. How many minutes was it? It was like 99, wasn't it? There you go. I'll set it to 99. Slot out. Unfortunately, does that say Rahan? Rahan? Your name there? Rehan? Possibly. At this point, you'd have to say yes. The only thing is, it depends who you get in to replace him. Like, you'd have to have some sort of competent replacement to replace him. Like, getting rid of Slot is one half of the equation, but the other half of the equation is, once you've gotten rid of him, who do you bring in to replace him? And nobody has really filled me with a high degree of confidence when it comes to a replacement. Glasner would be quite a good option, but he also doesn't feel like the definitive best option. Like, he'd be good, but Glasner just feels like the obvious solution. And quite often, the obvious solution is not the best solution. That's probably all I shall say on that. Noah says, it's enough, Slot out. I agree it's enough at this point. The only question is, who would you get in to replace him? Who's available? And also, to be fair, it doesn't have to be somebody who's available. I'm sure Liverpool would buy out the contract of any manager that they wanted. But the thing is, for me, I agree. I think at this point it's just not working, and they've also tried different things, and the different things are also not working. But if and when they get rid of the manager, the question is, who do they bring in? Hassan says, hi there. How's it going, Hassan? Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unfortunately, I think Jose's best days. I think Jose's best days are behind us. Thanks, Tom. Tom has made me feel a lot better. Lost to a team that lost to Millwall last season, by the way. I am now full of happiness after learning that fact. But no, definitely not Mourinho. Mourinho's best days are behind him. I mean, Glasner is an option, but equally he feels like too obvious an answer. And all I'll say is the obvious answer is rarely the best answer. Emery, I don't feel like he did too well. Arsenal, to be fair, I appreciate he's learned a bit since then from Villarreal. I appreciate he's learned a bit since then from Aston Villa, but I don't know if his skills will translate to a top team. Pixel says, you are the GOAT. I am not. You are the GOAT. But I'm happy to be in second place. Actually, you are the GOAT and Dexter is the second GOAT, but I'm the third GOAT. Tom says, you can have Steve Bruce if you want, pal. Steve's gonna love that. we are exchanging his physical being as a unit of currency. You can have him if you want, mate. Can you imagine that, Steve? Steve Bruce, to be fair, back in the day as a defender, he was decent, but as a manager, I would have to politely decline. Angelo is from Cape Verde. Very nice. I have not visited, but is it somewhere you would recommend to visit? If you recommend it, I will put it on my list. Noah says, you're right, but we have to get whatever now. I understand the concern. The only problem with getting whatever is, if we get whatever, in 2 months we will be in the same situation. We need to get somebody good. Somebody who instills a level of confidence within within the team. Umar says, why are you laughing? Liverpool drew to Leeds. Do you remember when Klopp used to be Liverpool's manager and Liverpool used to get hammered 6-0 and he would be laughing on the sidelines? That's the exact same reason. Suarez, Fowler or Firmino? Kind of blasphemous, but I'd actually go with Suarez, to be fair. Do you think Liverpool need a new striker in the transfer window? Nope. There's enough strikers. There's enough strikers to the point where Liverpool can't find a place for them. Start Ekatike, bench Isak. Start Isak, bench Ekatike. They don't need a striker, I don't think. They definitely need a centre-back because Konate is garbage. And they potentially also need a midfielder, but I'd say the highest priority would be a defender. Konate is garbage. And I'm sorry to say that. He's garbage. You know, sometimes you put your garbage out and they forget to take it away. And then it just kind of stinks on your driveway. He's that kind of garbage. I think if Liverpool had a degree of competent cover, he would not be in the team. Zaim says, do you think Fabregas is the real deal? Potentially. He's doing very well. He fits that young manager mold, I guess, from kind of similar to Alonso, similar sort of age. Both played for Spain at the same time. I wouldn't want him because Fabregas, Arsenal. Snus says, hey, let's blame Mo Salah for Liverpool conceding 3 today. It's a fair point, and to be fair, you were saying it last week, and I disagreed with you last week, but I think you might have been onto something, because I think last week I was saying Salah's not playing well. Liverpool need to drop him. Liverpool need to try something else. But if you consider what has happened, Liverpool have been bad with Salah, but Liverpool have also been bad without Salah. So if you're bad with something and you're also bad without something, that to me says that something is not a variable, it's a constant in maths language. So it's not Salah's fault in English. Sinus says, I cannot stand Liverpool fans blaming Mo Salah. Who's blaming Mo Salah today? Like, Liverpool are rubbish, but we need to own the fact that we are rubbish and we need to take responsibility like grown men for the fact that we are rubbish. You cannot blame somebody who's not playing, who's on the bench. I 100% do not understand. I appreciate most football fans are emotional and not analytical, but how can you blame a guy who's not playing? That is garbage. It's as much Salah's fault today as it is Graham Souness's fault. Both Salah and Graham Souness were not on the pitch, so it's equally their fault. Ban says no one's taking Emery. EB says literally we're massive. To be fair, very, very good result against Arsenal today. I can't lie. If Liverpool can't win the league, which is looking more and more unlikely with time, as time passes, I would love to see Villa win the league. Hassan says Van Dijk is just like Konate. Too many blunders, quick to raise his arms, blaming others. I'd say Konate's worse. Van Dijk, I would like to perhaps see him take a bit more ownership at times. The trouble Liverpool have got, Liverpool don't have any more defenders. Liverpool have Van Dijk, Konate, and they have Giovanni Leone, who's out for the entire season. They've got Joe Gomez, but Joe Gomez is not a viable option if you're serious. So unfortunately, they're in a position where they don't have any more options. I think this is an important point. Snus says, the players are not playing for the manager. How is it 8:15? Is it 8:15? What the F? I thought it was like 4 o'clock. I legitimately, yeah, it's a 5:30 kickoff, wasn't it? I'm like, I just looked up at the times, like, it's 8:15. I like literally in my head, I'm thinking it's like 4 o'clock. I've got X, Y, and Z to do later. Jesus Christ. But of course, it's because it was a 5:30 kickoff. I just realized that. But the players are not playing for the manager, and he has not got a clue what he's doing. I agree. Especially with the players not playing for the manager. I think mentally something has gone on in the background. There's been some sort of beef, there's been some sort of argument, there's been some sort of disagreement, and the players just don't want to play for him anymore. And I think, unfortunately, when you get into that kind of a situation, then you perhaps have to move on from the manager. If the players are not going to play for him, then you've got to make that change, unfortunately. Hassan says, I think we need 2 central defenders replacing Van Dijk and Konate. Van Dijk has lost the plot. Liverpool need 2 central defenders, but realistically, I wouldn't want to change Van Dijk. The reason for that is you've got Kerkez on the left, who is new, and you potentially also have Frimpong on the right, who is new, and you got the Konate replacement, who's also new. I'm uncomfortable right now, but I would be even more uncomfortable if every single player in the back line was a new player. Liverpool have failed to integrate in the new players that they've bought this season. They've shown an inability to do that. So if they were to then extend that to the entirety of the backline, I don't have any confidence that would be a success. Certainly one new centre back, but I think you just got to keep Van Dijk there as the constant. If Liverpool not sacking him before Inter, I'm gonna be mad. I understand, because if Liverpool don't sack him before Inter, we getting battered. We're getting battered by Inter. The good thing is for the Spurs game, I'm on holiday. So I'm not gonna see that shit. But the Inter game I'm here for, and I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried about that. It's Inter away from home as well. Not at home. Charlotte says all truth. Snow says Mark Gay coming in the summer. Get Ordonez from Club Brugge. I think we just need anybody who's vaguely competent at the moment. Get them in. Beaver says, who's better, Japanese CDM, Leeds one? Is that the Tanaka guy? Is he a CDM, the guy that played today? Ironically, I feel like Endo is what this team needs. This team needs a bit of stability and a bit of defensive cover, but that poor guy can't get a game. Gomez is leaving in January, so third one, is he definitely leaving? I mean, if Gomez is definitely leaving, then I think they'd need 2 centre backs in January. San Siro against Inter. Yeah, that's gonna be a battering. Unfortunately, I am not looking forward to that. The depth is also on Slot's head. He destroyed Kwanzaa's confidence, who had real potential. He did, and I mean, when he first joined, he was extremely ruthless, wasn't he? He took Kwanzaa off 45 minutes against Ipswich. And I remember everybody thinking at the time, myself included, to be fair, everybody thinking at the time, okay, this guy's the complete opposite of Klopp. Because everyone's saying now, get Klopp back. People were criticizing Klopp at the time. They were saying, oh, he's too loyal, he's hugs and kisses and, pats on the backside. Like, we're glad that we got Slot now. Slot is ruthless. So I remember at the time, everybody was saying, okay, at least he's showing a degree of ruthlessness. But it's interesting how he's a lot less ruthless now. But you're right about Kwanzaa. Like, Kwanzaa was not doing particularly well in that game, but he was not doing so bad to the point that would necessitate taking him off at halftime. I think taking him off at halftime did feel a bit overkill. And I'd also say it also felt like Kwanzaa basically got one chance, and then as soon as he failed at that one chance, then they completely binned him. Whereas other players have been given multiple chances. Mr. Defoe answering the question, who are the biggest United in the North? Thank you for that answer. He really means it as well. I'm messing. Mr. Defoe, he's one of the good United fans, which is a rarity. Endo won the Premier League. That is true. Chiesa should have started over Gakpo and put Sabo on the left side, but no. Gakpo can do nothing to get dropped. Gakpo could commit a crime and go to prison, and Slot would break him out of prison the night before and then start him on the left-hand side the next game. I don't know what Gakpo has to do to get dropped at this point. Ollie Bolly says, you remember me? Indeed I do. How's it going, Ollie? Hope you're well. Ooh, this might be a good point. I've not thought about this. His ruthlessness has made the players turn against him. I had not even considered that, but that might be a very good point. It could be a sign of the times, and it could be why also Klopp succeeded. I feel like ruthlessness is good to a certain degree, but if you're too ruthless, I don't feel like that works in the modern day. Modern day management, I feel like, is more about collaboration, is more about team spirit, is more about, in a certain degree, making the players your friend, but not your best friend. Whereas perhaps there's an argument that Slot's more authoritarian approach is more of an old school way of doing things, and that does not necessarily work as well in the modern world. I think that's a fair assessment. Dean says, up the Villa. I can't lie. I would love to see Villa win the league. If Liverpool can't win the league, which, let's be honest, is becoming less and less likely, I would love Villa to win it. Ollie is I'm from Scotland. I'm from Glasgow. Very nice. I used to work in Scotland. I used to work in Glenrothes. Have you been to Glenrothes? I used to work there doing a IT project. But I think I used to fly into Edinburgh, I think it was Edinburgh, and then I used to get a taxi to Glenrothes. But yeah, I've not been to Glasgow, but I've heard it's very nice. It's a very nice place to live. Snus wants to see more game time for Chiesa whenever a new manager comes. Me too. I don't know what Chiesa has to do to get game time. Whenever he comes on, he'll get a goal, he'll get an assist, or he will clear the ball off the line, which is as good as a goal, because you've prevented a surefire goal. I don't know what that poor guy has to do to get a game. And I don't know what the reason is. I don't know what the reason is. He doesn't seem like he's got an attitude. He doesn't seem like he's a bad egg or anything. So it's a bit bizarre. Ollie says, nah, but going on Wednesday. Oh, you're going to Glenrothes on Wednesday, or to Edinburgh on Wednesday. Fideli says, do you think Slot really needs to go? Have the players really stopped playing for him? It certainly looks like that. It certainly looks like that. If you just consider the recent results, so Leeds conceded 3 goals against Leeds today, conceded 3 goals against Nottingham Forest, conceded 3 goals against Manchester City, conceded 4 goals at home to PSV. They just do not seem to be responding to his method of management. If I was to guess, I would presume he's more of a authoritarian, given, this is going to sound a bit blunt, but given that he's Dutch, he strikes me as more of an authoritarian, and I don't feel that kind of management structure works so well these days. These days, you can't just shout at someone, tell them to do something, and then expect them to do it. I think these days it's more about building a relationship with people and almost kind of convincing them that they're your friend, but not your best friend. And to be fair, that's what a lot of these players had with Klopp. Klopp would have treated those players like he was their friend, but not their best friend. And I think to go to Slot, a polar opposite, who's a bit more authoritarian, maybe it was a culture clash to a certain degree. That could be a reason. I certainly feel like he's ostracized part of that team. I don't think it's purely the tactics. I think what you're seeing on the pitch is a combination of the tactics and the players not playing for him because they've got some sort of disagreement or some sort of beef. Yeah, as EB says, it must be something behind the scenes. Chiesa has dedicated his life to try to start for Liverpool and said no to Italy twice, worked his backside off just to be benched every single week. It is a damn shame. It is a damn shame, isn't it? Whenever Chiesa comes on, he's effective, gets a goal, gets an assist, or clears the ball off the line. I don't know what more that poor guy has to do. I hope if and when the next manager comes in, he gives him a fair chance, a fair crack at the whip. For sure, I can say he's got very bad management. Choosing Gakpo over and over and not rotating has done this as well. The other problem with Gakpo is he is wholly predictable. You know that guy's going to cut inside onto his right foot and try and whack it. So if I know that as a complete amateur, you can sure bet that the professionals that he's playing against definitely know that as well. Ollie's going up both on Friends Day. I've just combined both the words. That's how you know it's a bit late for me. Ollie is going on both Wednesday and Friday. Nice. Enjoy. Have you got any specific plans, or are you just going to go for the day type of thing? Yeah, Van Dijk aura defending. People are saying to drop Van Dijk as well, but unfortunately, if you drop somebody, you have to replace them with somebody. And Liverpool quite simply do not have the centre-back depth at the moment. If Liverpool had centre-back depth, then they would drop Konate. But realistically, the depth was Leone, and then unfortunately he got injured. He got injured for the season, which is not what you want. Yeah, we can't drop him. And additionally, some people have said buy 2 new centre backs in January and start them in place of Van Dijk and Konate. And whilst in theory that sounds good, that kind of scares me because number 1, you've got a brand new left back. Number 2, you've got a brand new right back in Frimpong. And then to additionally have 2 brand new centre backs, you've got an entirely new back line that Alisson is going to be like, what the hell is going on? I think you just need to maintain a degree of consistency in the back line, and that would be Van Dijk. But Van Dijk, I still think he's fine. Like, he's fine. Granted, he's not putting in 10 out of 10 performances, but I still think largely he's fine. If I was to prioritize the problems in an order, like Van Dijk would not be the biggest problem. Just going to visit says Ollie on Wednesday. Nice. Hope you have a good day. Hope it's a good visit. I can't lie. I can't believe it's 8:30. Fortunately, I got garbage I gotta do today. I thought it was like 4:00 because for some reason mentally I thought it was a 3:00 kickoff. EB says if Gahey came in, would you not be as poor overall? Would you say? I'd agree with that. I think Mark Gahey would be playing in Kanate's position. I would say a big reason for the poor form is Kanate, number one. And number two, there's nobody to replace Kanate because the defender that we bought, Giovanni Leone, he's out for the season. And the only other defender is Joe Gomez, who is pants. So I would say a large proportion of the problems are down to Kanate. And yeah, if Mark Gahey was here, he'd be playing in his position, I think. But it is what it is. They decided to leave that to the last day of the season, hoping it will go through at 11:59 p.m. And then, surprise, surprise, Palace pulled out. And then Liverpool had an egg on their face. But that's why you don't do things last minute. Same with everything. That's why you don't pack your bag if you're going on holiday last minute. That's why you don't do your homework last minute. And that's why you don't sign defenders last minute. An important lesson. EB would have thought Kanate would be playing well if he wants his Madrid move so bad. The rumours are he's been playing so terribly that Real Madrid have seen that and have now said, no thank you. We do not want Ibu. We do not want Ibu even on a free. So I think unfortunately he's got egg on his face and he's shot himself in the foot. Ollie has his first futsal thing in East Kilbride. Very nice. Enjoy that. Hope it goes well. Sounds pretty fun. Zaim says rank these problems. Salah as in the right wing option, defensive minded midfielders, fitness, Kanate centre back depth, Jota rest in peace. If I was to rank them in terms of, so number one is the biggest problem for Liverpool. With the Jota thing, it's hard to say because I feel like everybody would react to that situation differently. So it's hard to kind of put a finger on that one. But kind of generally speaking, I'd say centre back depth number one. Defensive minded midfielders number two, because I just feel like there is absolutely no control in the midfield, and if there is no control in the midfield, that has an impact on everything. So if you have control in the midfield, then the right wing is less of a problem because there's control in the midfield, there's aggression in the midfield, and therefore your attacks are more concentrated. And additionally, Salah's not the only forward option. So I just feel like if there was more control in the midfield, the attack as a whole would improve. So I would say Kanate number one, biggest problem. Defensive minded midfielders number two problem. I'd say Salah right wing option number three because he doesn't really defend. But my argument is, if you sort out the defense, which is point number one, and if you sort out the midfield, which is point number two, those 2 points together would improve Salah. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, Salah number three, and fitness number four. I think the players are fit, but given the lack of cohesion at centre back, and given the lack of cohesion within midfield, I think those are probably having the biggest impact. Ali Bolly subscribed. I appreciate that, Ali. Very kind of you. Devil May Cry 5 Bayonetta, or Nier Automata. That's the order. Nier Automata was the most overrated game I've ever seen. I played like one level and I got bored of it. Devil May Cry 5 was quite good. Not as good as the old Devil May Cry games, but still good. And Bayonetta was decent. Was a decent game, to be honest. Oof. But anyway, I hadn't realized that it was 8:30. I can't lie. I thought it was like 4-5 o'clock. Do you like my DLS 26 team name? It's called Winter Stars FC. Pretty nice team. But what's DLS 26? What is DLS 26? I'm not familiar with that. Dream League Soccer 26. Nice. Looks pretty good. Looks like a pretty good team name. I can't lie. Who's been Liverpool's standout player this season? Probably Szoboszlai. I mean, he's been decent. It feels a bit misleading to kind of say standout, but I'd say he's probably been the best player. He's been the best of a bad bunch, to be honest with you. But anyway, I've been here for how long? 3 hours. That's probably why I'm minting my words. Before I go, Lion says words 130,000,000 euro. Thanks, Liverpool. We have Diaz. No problem. We are very kind people. We are nice people. So this is what we do. We say, look, you can have Diaz because we are kind and considerate and we want to help out. So that's just how we roll. But anyway, I'm going to go because I thought it was like 5 o'clock, but it's not 5 o'clock. It's 8:30. But I'll be back for the next Liverpool game, which is it's Inter. We're gonna get battered. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday, 8 o'clock to watch us get battered. But anyway, have a nice weekend. See you then. Take care.